everyone. I got Archie here. She has an appointment today with us.
How are you?
Archie,
I'm Zena.
nice to meet you, Archie.
That's not met her
Nice to
before.
meet you.
And you met me, Archie. I'm from HR. My name is Christina.
How are you? How was the drive?
Have a seat.
Thanks. It wasn't too bad. Just a little traffic.
Yeah?
Hot outside.
Yeah, it's nice. Finally, the weather's warming up.
Yeah.
So-
Wish I could enjoy it though. It's hotter.
You will. You will. So, like any other interview, just a bunch of questions back and forth.
Okay.
We'll just get to know you a little bit. If you have any questions at the end for us, we'll be glad to answer.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Basma, do you want to begin?
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm in nursing school. I graduate May 5th, hopefully.
Yay.
Thanks.
Wow, it's coming up.
Yeah. I'm one of 6 kids, so I've always been taking care of somebody my whole life, which also ties into why I wanted to become a nurse. And very energetic, very outgoing, outspoken, confident. Yeah, that's just me.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big family.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so tell me some of your weaknesses.
I think I just want to take care of everybody. I think I can save every stray animal in the world and fix everything I've come across. But I think I'm learning how to differentiate between things that can be fixed and things that can't. But I definitely I'm very optimistic, and I think it's a good thing too that I'm wanting to take care of everybody and fix everybody. But it just kind of sets me back when I can't. So I'm working on differentiating between the two.
That'll exhaust you
Yeah.
sometimes when you want to, put a Band-Aid on
Fix something
everyone.
that you can't,
Exactly.
yeah.
First I didn't mention, do you have a resume?
Yeah.
Please.
Duh. Here you go.
So, like you said about wanting to help everyone and all that, you do understand that sometimes, you won't be able to help out that person.
Yeah.
Sometimes in nursing, in the medical field, you will unfortunately lose some patients, and it's stressful. And,
Yeah.
so can you just explain to me, how would you relieve that stress once you go home after a really long shift? How that build up stress, how do you relieve it?
Well, I try to do it into something positive. I try to go to the gym or go for runs or just release the adrenaline somehow.
Okay.
I'd rather do that than other mechanisms that people use for stress, like smoking or
Definitely.
other negative stuff
Yeah.
like that. I try to stay away from.
We are a
and just-
nicotine-free campus here, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
I just try to do it in a positive way like that.
That's good. Yeah. So let off the steam.
I like
Okay.
to practice what I preach. So if I'm staying healthy,
Definitely.
definitely tell my patients to be healthy as well.
Okay.
Perfect.
Thanks.
So why do you want to work with us specifically?
Well, I'm very familiar with the area. Grew up in Dearborn, raised in Dearborn. I've been to this hospital. My father's been to this hospital. I'm very familiar with the layout, the setup, how to get throughout the hospital. A lot of people are like, hey, where's the emergency? Where's the north parking lot? And I'm just like, oh, it's over there. Like, do you work here? I'm like, no, not yet.
Hey,
and
optimistic.
yeah, I looked on your website and saw your mission statement. It's extraordinary compassionate care every single day, and I
Uh-huh.
definitely hold that to high esteem and would like to fulfill that definitely for each patient I come across. So I definitely agree with what you guys are putting out there.
That's definitely,
Perfect.
that is what motivates us, and that mission statement, we literally carry it to the highest standard.
So here at Beaumont and on our floor, we patient care is our top priority. Of
Right.
course, that's what we go into nursing
Mhm.
for, to take care of people when they can't take care of themselves.
Right.
Tell me about a time that you've advocated for a patient where you don't think like other people would say, I think I should advocate in this particular
Well,
situation.
During clinicals one time, one of my patients had requested to be transitioned from full code to DNR, and because of all the comorbidities they had, and they were very old, and as age goes on, he wasn't really looking good. So the family was they were in a tussle because they didn't want him to go to DNR, and then the patient was like, no, I want to let go, it's my time. So I had to definitely inform the family, take them aside and tell them, listen, I completely appreciate and can respect the fact that you want us to try everything, but I can't help those that don't think or want it, that it'll be beneficial. So I think you guys have to respect that fact and respect the wish that they want, because just because it works for someone doesn't mean it works for everybody. So they had to suck up their opinions in a way and trust what I was telling them. And I definitely built rapport with them, so they were kind of on the fence at first, but we transitioned into it with my clinical instructor, the actual nurse, and then the doctor came in and finalized everything. So it was just a big hill to overcome because there were so many family members that I had to talk to all at one time, and it was kind of intimidating, but I think I definitely pulled through and advocated for the family member for sure.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a very sticky subject, so that's good you explained to the patient and the family that, you know, the differences that they have, it's always up to the patient,
Right.
especially with a request like that, an end-of-life decision.
Yeah.
That's good. You handled that very professionally.
Thank you.
So, speaking of professionalism, what is the first, how do you define it? Once you hear the word professionalism, how do you define it? What's the first thing that comes to your mind?
I definitely think like a certain standard has to be upheld and
Okay.
certain behavior, appropriate setting, appropriate dress, definitely just abiding by the rules that you signed up for. I mean, you cannot handle nursing without professionalism, privacy, respect,
Okay, that's good.
stuff like that. So.
And if you were to see a nurse or a coworker on the floor that didn't abide by what you just defined professionalism, what would you do if you saw this coworker act out like this?
Well, I would definitely go up to that person and then just give them a little check, like, hey, you're not supposed to be doing that, and then figure out whether they intentionally or unintentionally meant to do it. If it was unintentional, hey, let me help you. Like, we can definitely work together. This is how it's supposed to be done. Like, remember, like a little reminder, like not
attacking
criticism
them in a
like
way.
that.
Yeah.
More constructive. If it was intentional and they just didn't care, then I would obviously they're gonna ignore me. So I would go higher and be like, hey, safety issue. Obviously, we all talked about like patient safety being number one. I would have to go higher to maybe the charge nurse or one of you guys and be like, listen, patient safety is being infringed upon. We gotta fix it. This was definitely an intentional act by said person, and I'm gonna advocate for their patients since they're not doing it.
That's
So.
wonderful.
Yeah.
That's good that you will, confront that person first, and like you said, go to the charge nurse, go to the higher,
Right.
next position.
Yeah.
That's good.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
That's great. So you're still in nursing school, right?
Yeah, I'm last semester.
That's great. So if we were to ask your clinical instructor to describe you in 3 words, what would they say about you?
First and foremost, I would say that she would describe me as confident. Number one, I'm always the one. I'll try this. I'll volunteer for this. Like, let me go first. Always up to bat. Second, I think she would say organized. I try to be organized, especially because mistakes happen and med errors and stuff like that. And passing meds is one of the biggest tasks we do in clinical. So I'm always trying to organize my patient rooms, and each person gets this, and these are the side effects. These are the routes. These are the doses. This is what it does. Blah blah blah. And then I think she would say like energetic or happy. I'm always like cracking jokes with my patients or building relationships or like, hopefully I'll see you at the Tigers game, like not in the hospital. Hopefully you stay healthy. Just trying to crack jokes, keep light of the situation because nobody wants to be in the hospital.
Definitely.
So I think happy would be one for sure.
That's perfect. We always want to see smiles on everybody's
Yeah.
face on the floor to keep a positive environment. That's
Yeah.
great.
Thanks.
Okay.
So back to being still in school, do you do any community service?
Oh yeah, within our school we have the SNA, Student Nurse Association, so we're always doing like fundraisers and activities like that, trying to spread the word about nursing and health and
Okay.
school, we did like blood pressure things at community service, at community health centers, and outside of school I even went downtown to the soup kitchens and the Salvation Army, separated some clothes, stuff like that. Definitely get out there and spread awareness and just try to help those and that can't help themselves, I think.
Okay, that sounds good. So what is the biggest mistake that you have ever made? I know this is a very tough question. I know this is the most frowned upon question.
Well, I will admit my mistakes when
Yes,
I have
please.
them. It wasn't clinicals. I did make a mistake, and I held myself accountable, absolutely.
Okay.
during med passing with my instructor,
Mhm.
I gave a PRN med instead of a scheduled med. So I I mistakenly clicked all meds and mistakenly didn't click scheduled, like at the time. The reason that it showed up at 9 p.m., the PRN med, was it has to be taken, there has to be an 8-hour gap, between the last administrations. So it lined up with 9 p.m. It was last given at 1. So I gave that muscle relaxer, which was what it was, instead of the scheduled muscle relaxer, which was at a higher dose.
Okay.
So I gave it, and she's looking, she's like, why didn't it like check off or whatever, say given? And I scroll down. The PRN one was scanned and given, and we're like, shoot, you know? So then she goes, it's okay because it is the same class, so thankfully, you know, you'll still get the same effect. Just tell the night nurse, hey, you might need to give this stronger one, scheduled one, in a couple hours. So we all came to an agreement, and it was my fault. And
well, you did the right thing by going to your instructor and admitting to that mistake because, like you said, it was a medication error. So if it were the wrong class or something, it could have went the wrong way. Like it would have been a negative effect. But that's good. We have a policy here where we want the nurses to stand up if they made a mistake. Just come forward, let us know, because our mission here is that we want to improve. We want to improve your job because time over time it's going to affect the patient. Because it is the patient's safety that we're talking about. That's good. Okay.
So we're a huge team here. We're like a family. I want to ask you, so when you hear the word teamwork, what comes to mind?
I think let's just go get it done. Definitely. Like when I think of teamwork, I think of like whether it's like a teamwork in a job setting or teamwork recreationally, like soccer or a sport or something like that. Everyone just comes together and has one mission, one clear end goal, and we all get it done. So let's just all hop on board. Let's do it. No hesitation. Just go.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's a lot of what we do now on our floor. We don't let anybody drown.
Right.
We really just, when somebody's like falling apart, we try to pick them up at a time in the day where it's like, nope, we're there for you. It's really good to hear more people
being positive and helping hand.
Exactly. It shows on your resume that you worked as a nursing assistant.
I still currently do. I'm at Henry Ford Wyandotte. It's an observation and a telemetry floor, so have cardiac, like strokes, MIs, even some lung issues on that side. And then observations, just far and few in between everybody. You can get anything on that side. We've been short-staffed recently, so I've had to deal with prioritization and time management for sure. Being one aide to 24 patients is kind of intimidating.
Definitely.
Having to do 24 blood draws, having to do 24 blood pressures, it's just, I've definitely had to learn what can wait and what can't. So.
Good.
So, tell me more about like the tasks. You said you do blood draws. And
blood draws is one of my favorite things that I do. It's a very good skill to have, I think, personally. We do all the vitals every 4 hours. We do emptying of like eyes and nose, so like emptying of Foley's, emptying of any type of surgical tubes. We do a bunch of stuff.
So, all of that experience that you have there, how can you tie that and transfer that over into an RN position? Because as an RN, you have way more that comes along than what an aide does.
For sure. I think regardless of like the physical, like med passing or vitals being taken or listening, I think time management is one of the things I can definitely carry over. Prioritization, definitely going to carry that over. I still will carry over all of the knowledge I've learned in nursing school for sure. They teach me a lot there. They know I'm in nursing school about to finish, so I'll be like, what is this strip? Or like, tell me what that is. Have you ever heard this? Like, go listen to this. And they'll educate me on it, and I can actually like tie it into the test that I take, and then
that's very
carry
generous.
these. So I'm thankfully had enough exposure to where I didn't want like my first shift as a nurse to be my first shift ever.
That's very important, definitely. So since you mentioned that you have been short-staffed lately, so can you tell me about a time when you had to establish priorities during one of your clinical experiences? So with all the hecticness that's going around, how do you prioritize yourself?
Well, I definitely try to stay organized as much as I can. One scenario in particular, I needed to be in 3 places at once. Like one of my patients wanted pain meds, one of my patients needed to go to the bathroom, one of my patients having difficulty time breathing. So I think I had to check myself and prioritize there, so I had to go to the difficulty breathing first, definitely. We all know our ABCs. And then I went to the patient who was needing to go to the bathroom second.
Okay.
Because, I mean, we all know the effects of holding your pee for too long as nurses.
Yes, we don't want that to happen.
And then I went to the pain med next, quick, easy, give them pain med, and then
Okay.
I had to
see
think
what
about
can
it, yeah.
wait and what can't wait. What's
right.
you know what is we think about the patient safety. So
Mhm. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Well, that's wonderful. And I remember you saying that about that med error that you did earlier. You said about the MAR. Okay, so what kind of systems are you exposed to? What kind of
Well,
EHR?
At Henry Ford, we use Epic, and then
Okay,
I've gone
Which is
to
what we have here.
Definitely,
right.
that's exactly
So then
what
I've
we
gone
use.
to St. John's and DMC where they use
Oh,
the
yeah.
Ascension.
Yeah, the
thing.
Sunol. Okay.
Yeah. That's what
Okay.
it is.
That's good. So
yeah, I've only been in
Mhm.
those outside of the Epic users, really, with my rotations anyway and work too.
That's good. So, okay, because we do train our nurses on Epic, so that's
Oh,
wonderful.
okay.
That's what you will be using.
Cool.
That's good to know that you have some experience, and I did see that actually now that you mentioned it, it's written over here. Okay, in your resume. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I definitely see myself having my bachelor's done, hopefully in a master's program. Definitely an advocate for continuing education. I don't want to do bare minimum and just do nursing because I didn't want to pick anything else. I'd definitely like to grow and hopefully you guys support that. I wouldn't
course.
see why not, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to be a mom. I definitely want to be a mom, hopefully. I'm with somebody and have some little ones on the way.
Okay.
Definitely. That's what I've got so far. I mean, long term is like a different conversation. But
Yeah. Okay, that's good.
So this is, the be all end all question. But why should we hire you? Like, what makes you stand out more than any of the other people that we've interviewed for this position?
well, you'll definitely not hire another RG. I don't know anyone with
Yeah,
the same
that's
name
an
as me.
interesting name.
I'm definitely in it to get everything done as correctly and fast as possible. I'm always taking initiative, always trying to be the first one, always trying to advocate for the good nurses I've seen, and definitely not be the bad ones I've seen, whether they're taking care of me or a family member. I definitely hold in mind what was done to my dad when he was in the hospital, so I would definitely want to treat those those patients as one of my family members, because as nurses we are the family members when they're not around. So I think a lot of people forget that and they don't hold on to that like unsaid aspect of nursing.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's very true statement. We're the shoulder to cry on when the
Right.
mom's not there. We're the hand to hold when the wife isn't available. So
For sure.
that's definitely a good attribute, a good thing for you to carry. So
Thank you.
well, that'll just conclude everything that we have to ask you.
Yep.
Okay.
I ran out of questions to ask you.
It's a very good, easy conversation. But do you have any questions for us? Is there anything that you're
Yeah, actually. Do I hear from the floor or do I hear from HR if I got the job?
Okay.
So what happens is we'll talk and we'll fish through our applicants and see what we like, what we don't like, and then we'll send her Christina a list, and then she'll go through and she'll call you or email you with good news, hopefully bad news if
Okay.
that's how it played out. But yeah, so if you should hear back from her within a week, and
Okay.
if not, give her a call so then she can
For sure.
be on
Yep.
us, what's going on,
Right.
where's her application stand.
Okay.
But yeah, so you should be hearing from her within a week.
Okay.
With your
And then for you guys, how long is the orientation phase? Like how many shifts, how many hours do I have to go through, and then I'm done with training?
So usually in the beginning you'll start off with corporate, so everything and anything between different classes that you need to learn.
Yeah.
It's about 2 weeks.
About
Okay.
2 weeks corporate, then you're on a night shift position, so you'll train on days for about 4 weeks.
Okay.
A full-time shift since it's a full-time position. And then you'll train on nights for
Okay.
another 4 to 6 weeks, give or take, depending on how you feel towards the end. Sometimes we have nurses ask us for an extra week of training. Sometimes they're like, nope, I'm ready, and
I don't
they're
need it.
just
Yeah.
ready to go.
Okay.
And so that's usually how it works. You'll be with a preceptor.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you guys so much for
Thank you.
the
Well,
opportunity.
thank you for
definitely.
coming in.
Thank
It was
you.
very nice
Thank
meeting you.
I'll see you soon.
Good luck.
hopefully. I hope to hear from you soon.
Yes.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
We'll
Have a
see you.
wonderful day.